People were telling me that Antarctica is the most beautiful place on Earth. I can say now firsthand, the most beautiful place I've ever seen.
Y'all, have you ever seen a crash out so hard that it's beautiful and that you're actually extremely moved at what has happened? If you know me, you know I love a good conspiracy theory. Not that I believe them or want to get wrapped up in them or think that things are actually being hid from us. I just think they're fun because it's interesting to think of where people's minds will go to rationalize an idea they have. Because I can see it from an objective standpoint, standing back. That's how me and Greg view any conspiracy theory, just through a lens of humor, comedy, or just something like, this is crazy, like what if? You know what I mean. There's a group of people that we all know called the Flat Earthers that truly believe that the Earth is flat. And they're... I mean, if you're chronically online like me, you have seen the Flat Earthers and the big names in this community. There was a channel that I just found out about the other day called The Final Experiment. And basically, Flat Earthers' biggest argument is that there is no proof or no way to prove that there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And what that means is that in the South Pole, there is a 24-hour sun. Like, basically, if you're standing on the South Pole, it is constant sunlight. It will circle around you. It'll never set. This has been known forever since people have been to the South Pole. The whole point of their entire conspiracy is like, well, no, they don't let anyone go to Antarctica because every country has signed like a treaty, like it's just for scientific research, like you have to request permission to get there by different governments and blah, blah, blah. And everyone's like, oh, why is it so secretive? Why are they keeping us from there? Well, turns out they're not keeping us from going there. It's just really expensive. An anonymous donor or somebody started some campaign and basically said, hey, Flat Earthers, I will pay for you to go to the South Pole and experience a 24-hour sun. And guess what? That whole thing happened, and they went to the South Pole and they saw the 24-hour sun, which we all knew was there because there's been evidence of it forever. So I'm not going to rehash everything about it. I basically just want to highlight the main guy named Will Duffy. He runs the Final Experiment channel, and basically he was pioneering like, hey, I'm going to be the one to take me and any other flat earthers that want to go, and we will prove the globers wrong or whatever. And we're like, okay, sure. So Will Duffy is like one of the biggest names in this community. I mean, the community's not huge, but he's the person that pioneered this, and basically that is the crux of their argument. If there's a 24-hour sun, it proves the globe is real. And Will Duffy has been from the beginning saying this is the final experiment, saying once we get there, it will prove whether or not we are right or wrong, and we have to accept either answer. That's why it's the final one. It is the final decision. And they finally went and did it and just proved themselves wrong. If you're a marble lover like myself, a pale blue dot observer, a roundist, a curvy lover of our planet, then you already know what's going to happen. We all know what's going to happen. It's hard to explain because on one hand, I'm seeing this absolutely stunning footage of the South Pole on a oddly cloudless day, which a lot of the scientists that normally work in that area or are frequenters of the South Pole, like, it's very dangerous to be there. It's very cold and there's always blizzards, but right when they got there, the clouds went away and it was perfectly clear for them to film the sun making 4 rotations. Basically, they were there for 4 days straight filming. And it looks like it's the middle of the day the entire time because the sun just kind of does... The sun's doing like little whoop-de-loops. So it's hard to explain. I'm sitting here watching the Professor Dave Explains kind of recap of the whole thing. And of course, he's going off on them. Like, of course this is. We knew this was happening. But at the same time, you're watching these people that believe so deeply that they were right, that the earth was flat and that this was going to prove them right, and they got there. And now they're experiencing being at the South Pole, and their entire worldview is shattered. It's dished. Because you know what they have now? They have a world view, not a disc view. Their whole disc is stuck up on someone's roof, and they have to accept the fact that the earth is a sphere. On one hand, I'm like, finally, the big guys that are causing all of this confusion and spreading this weird, slightly racist narrative of the earth being flat and all of this scientists and secret organizations and races and blah, 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 blah. You see the biggest names and you can tell that they are experiencing something incredible. And I'm not comparing it exactly to this, but I recently went to Estes Park in Colorado, where the Stanley Hotel is, the scary one. We drove up to one of the highest mountains up in this scenic route in the middle of summer, and I was blown away. It's the first time I've ever seen scenery like that, and I was like, I would spend the rest of my life staring at all of this. All of this was so beautiful, and that's what they're experiencing. And because they set up redundancy after redundancy, 360 cameras, constantly live streaming, every angle, everything, because they wanted to prove they were right. So they took measures to film the 24-hour sun in the South Pole in Antarctica in the most breathtaking footage ever. And it's actually extremely beneficial for the scientific community. Like, we don't have footage of like this available to the public, and now it's there. We all can see how crazy the snow ice desert is at the bottom of our planet. And of course, these big names are immediately shunned from the community, called shills. They've been plants the whole time. They've been in on it to spread, to get us in here and corrupt us and think that they've been government plants the whole time. Well, Jim Bob, I think that them dear slurs, that's what they are. That's why it was their agenda the entire time to trick us, make us believe, get us roped in. That's what the Antichrist does. Now go get daddy some more myth from your cousin wife. But and of course we all knew that the community would turn on them and just basically find any rationalization. And that's to be expected. It's them trying to tell their community, like, we're not lying to you. We proved it to your face. We live streamed it. We called you in real time. We got access to Starlink so we could do this. We got personal access from some politician to get code to access Starlink to have available internet connection for like 10 simultaneous live streams. And the community still said, fuck you. Y'all have lied to us the whole time. They had to experience exactly what we've been experiencing, telling them that they're crazy. And what they ended up doing is they had to go to their communities and say, we gotta go because we know for a fact that the earth is a sphere. We have scientific proof, and we would be dishonest if we didn't say that that's what we have and that's what has to happen.
I feel like I'm not being honest with people if I don't be honest with people, right? If I don't tell you that I honestly can't see it working anymore, as far as the map, as far as the layout, the globe at least explains the sun to me in a way that works. To have its South Pole and then to know that there's a North Pole, I don't really know where to go with that, other than that to me, I was wrong about the flat earth.
Hallelujah. And what's beautiful is, and kind of scary for them, is now that they have to readjust their entire worldview, probably lose a lot of people that were close to them, start to experience like life with people. It's literally like leaving a cult. You're starting over. Your whole way of thinking is different. And you know what was great? At the end of the Professor Dave video, I loved that he just popped in and he's like, hey, Dave, like he's interviewing him and he's like, hey, like still making fun of the community a little bit. And you can tell Will is trying to be a little more upbeat about it, but you can tell like he's probably going through it. Like, he's probably like, oh, well, I mean, I understand that pain because I've gone through similar stuff. But honestly, just the reaction of everyone saying, you finally get it. You see what we've been feeling. Like, we've been telling you all of this, and you've been shunning us, saying we're the shills. And then you come with real scientific proof, and you're still called a lying shill.
Yeah, the reactions have been nothing short of insane. The amount of conspiracies that already exist, I've lost count. It was a mere hours after we live streamed and showed the midnight sun, still up at midnight from Antarctica, that they were already coming up with green screen conspiracies, and so we found that out while we were out there. So within 10 hours of this green screen conspiracy, we did another live stream and debunked that by me flying my drone behind me. There was no screen behind me, doing multiple live streams around each other at the same time. But the conspiracies have just come fast and furious. Breathgate, Footprint Gate, Drone Gate, the list goes on and on.
And Will is here like, oh my God, I get it. Like, there's proof right in front of us, but nobody believes us anyway. Because they're not the ones there. Of course they tricked us. Well, if I go there, then I'll prove them. I'm not the one standing there. Most of them got offered to go on the trip, and they just chose not to because they probably know. Because that's what grifters do, is they can't lose that control. But honestly, I'm just in love with the beauty of this revelation. They got to experience something like nobody gets to do. These 4 guys took it upon themselves to fly to Antarctica, drive 4 hours inland to the South Pole, and experience how amazing just that was. And now, let's talk about how weird it is. So you thought we were standing on some plane? We are legit standing on a giant marble. That to me feels crazier than some disc, okay? We're standing on a ball. You were standing upside down. Think about it. It's weird, and it's the truth. The truth is fucking nuts. So I hope you're able to get as dedicated into the wonders and the majesty of what Earth is. There's so much beauty and so much amazement on Earth that you can experience. Just go to it. And that's what I hopefully can do. See a lot of the world at some point in my life because it's beautiful. The world is always here with open arms to say, hey, you finally get it. Come on. And big hugs. It's going to be okay. I know it's hard right now, but it's good. It's okay. No judgment. It's tough. And if you are seeing that footage, you're like, damn, I don't know what to believe. That's okay. Take your time. Anyone here on Earth, on our big blue marble, will be standing right on it, sideways, waiting for you to see the light like Will Duffy did. Because honestly, a lot of the community did follow him, but they said they were disappointed on the reaction because everyone said that this would prove whether they were right or wrong, and they said they had to be the bigger people and accept that. Maybe being a big blue ball isn't so bad, because hey, and I'm glad y'all got to do it. Welcome to Earth. This place sucks.